understand.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. We're in the month of June. Number is 19. And you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. The number is 442-0175. We're also on RealFM, Facebook page, and YouTube. And we encourage you to like and share our program. When you share and like our program, the program benefits immensely. So if you like the program, press the like button, the one with the finger up, and share the program. Share it to your page. So you like and share and subscribe to the program. It's in the interest of the program and RealFM if you subscribe to it. Give us a call, and as usual, we speak about any issue. Sometimes we introduce a topic, and it's sort of lead the way, but what we have to say is never really important. We prefer to discuss what you want to discuss. This program gives you an opportunity to express yourself. If you want us to speak on a particular topic, call us and tell us that. Or you introduce the topic. You could introduce any topic you want. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, sex-related issues, domestic issue, any issue we want. So give us a call. As I said, the number to call is 442-0175. There's some information in our country, I believe, that people ought to know. That's why I encourage the brothers in the rum shop to discuss the current issues that are going on in the country. Discuss the issues of farming. Originally, the rum shop was considered as a symposium where men went to have a drink and discussion after dinner. So if you came from an agricultural background, that might dominate the rum shop. Even the policies of government that affect agriculture, the economic situations, and some domestic issues that is common to agricultural farmers. And the language would be agricultural. If you was from the fishing background, the same would have said. So the symposium has been transformed to the rum shop, the pub, and some hotel lounges. So the individuals who go to the hotels, they might go to the hotel bar and give it a sophisticated name. But it's really discussion among human beings. If it was an area where you find hunters, then a lot of information would be done about hunting. The moon, what is the best time to hunt? The close season. And all the names associated with it. We're in a very sophisticated society now, where the elderly ones are getting left. They are getting left brutally because they are not knowledgeable about the technology. Not everybody, but the majority of them. They're practically afraid of the technology. So that discussion must go on too. I believe a lot of them would lose all their money in the bank. They would lose all their money in the bank eventually. People are going to rob it from them. Because they are handed a piece of gadget, a telephone, and they are practically strangers to the telephone. Some of them could only make a call. And now the financial institutions are forcing them to get involved in the technology without training and education. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother,
How
welcome.
everything? So, happy belated Father's Day to you.
Yeah, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, we celebrated Father's Day yesterday, and as time become more difficult for parents, right, I call upon the fathers. Stand up. Yes, you may lose your job, but that's not the end of life. So when a man will try to close a door upon you to hinder the development and of your family, stand up. Put your trust in God. God will open many more doors for you. To those fathers who play in the role, God will open many more doors. And to the fathers of our nation throughout the world, don't more focus on Grenada. We have some of these mothers playing the role of both the father and mother. Right? Them alone was working, and because of no fault of theirs, they are sent home. They are sent home. And some of the fathers that turn their back on the farm on the children, you're working, but presently the mother not working. Take up the mantle, provide for your children, give them money to get a good education. We get a good education, you need money, right? Because sometimes the mother she don't have, and the later that she had, they take it away from her. And you know, by being in a good position where you're working, reach out and support your children. And I always say, Mr. Pierre, the lady or the one you have children with, no always be your lady. But your children always remain your children. So step up fathers who turn the back on the children and maintain your children, because the mothers out of a job where you employ. Continue to support give your children that support that they need presently at the time. Don't only wait when they achieve certain things in life and you want to go and embrace and say that's my daughter. In the bad time, you have to reach out, you have to be there with your children. In a good time, you have to be there with them. Not only when they achieve things in life and you want to go and say that's my children. Because times are hard, some of the single parents, they lost their job. Some of the fathers who was working and the wife was not working, they lost their job. So time is difficult. But I call upon everyone, be strong. Put your trust in God. Because if we're going to put the trust in man, man will always fail, but God will never fail. So, Mr. P, that's my piece.
Yes, my brother, and it is important. I also join with you to call on fathers, lead the way. If you don't lead, you can follow. And make children. You have too much of young men have no children. If you like yourself, you must reproduce. You must make more. If you look at trees, some trees, they bear the most before they die because they want to make more. In Grenada, our population has practically been stagnant. About 70, 80 years ago, St. Lucia had 412 people more than Grenada. Now St. Lucia has 70,000 people plus more than Grenada. Our population has not moved in any significant way. Over the last 50 years, I've been hearing we have 100,000 people. Sometimes we had 10, 110, 112. Sometimes people say maybe it more look like 90. So Grenadian men, you must make children. I see some young men, 28, 30 years, you don't have a child. You don't have a dog. You don't have a cat. You never plant a tree. I never even see you walking the road with a woman. Yes, you might be having sex, but you don't know a woman. You have no woman you could walk around in the day with. That is not good. You leave school at 18, 20, and over 15 years, you're unproductive. You have some men don't even have an ID card. You don't have a passport. And a lot of men is getting left. You have to want more. The present political circumstances is not an excuse. Every time there is crisis in the world, some people turn millionaires. Because there are opportunities in crisis. You could have a bad government, but even a bad government creates fighting spirit. Among human beings, we don't live based upon the laws of the jungle. We are supposed to help the weak in our society, so we must encourage one another. And we have to encourage the men. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Good morning, brother. Good morning.
Yeah.
If you are children, happy Father's Day. Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Father.
I get some good news this morning, boy.
Yes, man. Tell us. We need good news.
Our three family, they don't have cable, they don't have internet, and they can't get internet for free, almost free. They pay $20 a month. I said I want to the best thing that happen to them because they're getting free training for the internet, they're getting tablets and so on, and they're getting free service. You only pay $20 a month.
And they're getting free internet.
$20 a month, you could say free.
That is a program of the government?
That is a program of the government. They signed the program Friday again.
Well, that is a very good thing.
Well, they were telling you, I'm happy for our two family, they have internet and they have...
But you can't happy for your family alone. You have to happy for all those who benefiting from it.
Well, yes.
They even say for your family alone, you go look at a straight NDC thing.
Well...
And I don't believe they're concentrating on only yellow there.
Mr. Pierre.
Aye?
I listened to the Prime Minister on GBN, and he make a remark that really makes me feel happy. He said the NNIB, Marketing and National Importing Board, they recover so far until they have 0.07% surplus. And Mr. Pierre.
So why? I thought he closed it down? And he fired some workers?
He closed it down.
And he fired some workers?
He fired some workers.
And they recover already?
They recover from 0.7 something percent growth.
So what are you doing with it now?
Well, they're scaling it. They want to put a business component to it, maybe making chocolate components such as Milo and Philo and things.
You want to make Smilo like Bishop? You know Bishop say he will make Smilo. But he never make it. You know Bishop said he'll make Smilo.
Well,
but Bishop never make Smilo, you know.
I don't know if they will get to, but that's the intention. They want to make byproduct of the cocoa and whatever ginger or whatever they have. Steamers on, they want to get companies and to join them to make byproduct of those things. Mr. Pierre, those people and them, you know, they understand buying, they pay them to farmers and things, you know.
What they do?
They pay you know, the farmers getting paid on time.
Which farmers?
The workers getting paid on time, all kind of thing.
Which farmers?
Farmers who sell the product to them.
They getting paid on time now?
Yes.
So they don't close down marketing board again?
They don't close it. They will never close them from the beginning.
What they did, they just fired some workers?
They put it, they reschedule it.
All right, okay.
They will change the name later and maybe October, November, don't they?
Well, we need to hear something good about, the government, eh? Because so far, we really need to hear some good news.
Guys, you hear any bad news? Where's the bad news you hear?
Well, I say we need to hear some good news because we was not hearing anything that is good. So if this time they revive marketing board and they pay the farmers on time and they give some people internet, that is very good.
They have something, something surplus. Anyhow, that's one of the best news I have.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Well, it's very good to hear something good about NDC because they have been giving us such sad stories. They have shown great insensitivity to the elderly, to the marginalized, the physically challenged, and even disadvantaged children. The NDC has threatened. So to hear any speck of good news is encouraging. So, caller, glad you called me and tell me this good news. And people have to understand. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
That program that is talking about with the giving out of the internet, that was in the making already. And besides that, that is not handout now. Is that handout? That's supposed to be handout. Thank you very much, Mr. Pierre.
It depends on who give it. When the National Democratic, right now, anything that is positive, whether it's the NNP that started or not, I'm still glad something positive could be associated with the National Democratic Congress. Because when any political party attacks the elderly and the physically challenged and disadvantaged children, it's a sad day for that country. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes,
Pierre.
my brother, welcome.
I don't think you actually followed Sheldon that much as Pierre, but regarding that program with the internet, that was signed, I could be subject to correction here by Mr. Gregory Bowen. You could cross-check that.
I know that, yeah.
Right. So people need to know that. I mean, we all want to say things, right? But let's be honest for once and for all in our life, okay?
Yeah.
Right? Because that don't sound right for me at all. You just come and want to say things which is not appropriate.
Well, at least it's a little blight for NDC and is hopeful. That might help to soften the heart.
Yeah,
and to make them know that they have to be concerned.
But if it's NNP do it or NDC do it, let's be up to the task. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, regarding the Maxim board, right? I mean, let me ask a simple question. He had 90 people. You fire, most of them gone home, okay? Obviously, you're going to see a return because you pay less salary and the business is still continuing. So you must see the recovery. I mean, I am no way surprised. I was expecting that to happen, okay? I was expecting that statement to come out. I mean, by all respect, again, no discrimination to anyone, but that obviously, when you see you do your figures, he's going to show a surplus. Yeah? So now if you come and make that statement, now you're making profit, obviously, because if you had 90 workers and you only had nine now, you're going to save all that money. I mean, this is common sense. Dr. Mitchell said you could change your words, but not the figures. Yeah? You could change your words and not the figures. I mean, many words sound alike. They could have different meanings, but not the figures. The one is one and it will remain as one. And at the end of the day, I like everybody to know that let's put things in its right manner. Okay? And let me don't fall for any form of nonsense. Let me say what is reality. Let's accept the reality aspect of it, okay? And I mean, big people sometimes have to be very, very disappointed. Big people, right, who have sense and who have brains in their head making nonsense performance. Yeah? I will never accept that. What kind of society you are looking at? Yeah? What is setting the example for the younger ones? It's just discrimination. This is not nice. No, we have a future in our hand. If you continue play with the young ones with this kind of discrimination, what kind of future you will have for this country? Today, tomorrow, we all have to go down under, whether we like it or not. We must leave a legacy behind and respect. The young one will follow. Yeah? And so we have a blessed afternoon.
Yes, caller, thank you very much. The number to call is 442-0175. Father's Day was yesterday, June 19 bombing. And that's the reality of it. And I say to people, irrespective of the circumstances, always remember that some people do well, even in war, in disaster, some people do well. Don't go and fall up in a shell. Look for opportunities. Seek opportunities. Some people have been expressing a lot of dissatisfaction with the role men play in society. The odds seem stuck against our men. When you go into school, and I'm always in the school, the men are seriously disadvantaged. Yes, caller, welcome.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my sister.
I want to say happy belated Father's Day to all of the hardworking dads of this country and the world over, whether you're biological, whether you're a real dad, whether you're a stepdad, and to all the men that have played the positive role in the life and upbringing of the nation's children. Take a bow. And sometimes I find too many times we don't play that of Father's Day. You hear so much of the mothers and little of the fathers, and we must remember that there are positive men in our society, and they play a pivotal role in the upbringing. The homes where you have dad with positive attitude, you can see it on the lives of their children and those who they impact. And let us be mindful of that. Without, a real strong man in the community, in our home, we are missing so much. I just want to say I understand that we also have a debt, and depression is real. And let us be our neighbors, keep on look out for each other. Too many times, things that start happen, and we never know. We have to try to reach out a little more, and just to be everybody's friend. This gentleman has touched so many lives, repairing shoes and being a part of that community in the market. It is a great loss. And I want to say to us, just, let us always put ourselves in people's position. There's also a young man who lost his life over the weekend. And for some reason, somehow, it seems as if he was beaten. And we have to learn to respect each other, accept people the way they are. You may not like me, but somehow I play a role in somebody else's life that would make them happy. You may not like Mr. Pierre, but somehow we contribute to another family that make them happy and wants to survive. Let us learn to live with each other, accept each other. Some families hurting, they would have lost a good soul to them. And that gentleman had a brother that was a special case. I saw a posting where he took him to that movie, and it meant so much to him. We may not understand, but the family and those lives who he has touched understand. And let us all look out for each other and stop hurting each other and beating up on each other senselessly. Have a great day, Mr. Pierre, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my
Yes, my sister, always highly appreciate your intervention. And it's a good note that we have to encourage one another. And that is why it saddens my heart when I see people in the top position in our country, academically, politically, socially, etc., and they are not prepared to encourage one another. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, I don't really like to talk about the religion and the because that was called look at it attacking your faith. Although say that you don't mind, but
No, you could attack my faith.
I don't really want to touch on that. But the first time I hear about Mombasa, it was from Stanford Simon. Because usually go down to Kenya. I remember the program, he said $10,000, you could save $10,000, you could come and trip with him to Mombasa. And then the incident took place in Mombasa. So I don't know if he knew the pastor, if he one of them trained the pastor, that new pastor, but the pastor killed what I would say killed 318 persons. You guys tell them that to fast to death if you want to see Jesus' face or what, you have to meet Jesus and they happen to get some and give some psychological treatment and all kind of things. You cannot talk too far. That thing touched me because I'm really down that thing. I am a real vigilant. You understand? I don't like when I hear they doing that with poor black people. Just I don't like it at all. You kill them to fast to death, and that put in there the state intervene. The state intervene to help save some of them people's life. And some of them so believe this. See that thing about belief system. No matter what, once it is a leader in society, people supposed to believe you. That they say. So that they believe, because you see, when the President Prime Minister give all his life, no matter what he say, people believe him when he speaks. So I no longer interested in listening to when he speaks again, because I always feel I have to see between time and I hope the grandparents will say, take it with a pinch of salt. So I don't, this thing hurt me when I always do that. I say this modern time. It was modern for that, for people who fall in for all this kind of, how could lead people along the way? So I just shouted for words. I don't know.
You remember the incident in Guyana with Jim Jones?
Yeah, Jim Jones, and in Waco, Texas.
And Waco, Texas.
We curse that, and you keep reoccurring.
And I think they had one in South Korea once too, you know.
But people I don't know, like people just so asleep and they don't decide to wake up until it.
And that is why the democratic process. Yeah.
Huh?
And that's why the democratic process is so important, when we can express ourselves and perhaps help others.
And do little investigation.
And do investigation.
Investigating and everything. That you can't be a hook, line, and sinker.
No. You can't just accept what people saying. So
yeah. So take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, you can't just accept what people say. And I agree with the caller. That is why I take issue with policies. No, politicians is going to make mistakes. And I've said it over and over. I have a very soft heart for politicians. And I don't really go around with a microscope attacking politicians. But I'm concerned about the policy of the politician. The policy. And one of the issues you're going to hear me talking about in the next couple days, is a statement the Prime Minister make, that he have to increase the pay of the politicians so they would not get corrupt. And I take strong objection to that statement. Strong objection. The amount of money you get, or the amount of money that comes to you, have nothing to do with corruption. Absolutely nothing to do with corruption. And increasing the pay of individuals doesn't prevent them from getting corrupt. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah. I'm having a little problem. I want to ask you, I'm asking you a question.
Go right ahead.
The question is, do people have rights to collect any other's mail or letters or whatsoever come through the post office without your knowledge, and just come and say, I bring that for you? Not workers of the postal.
Well, I don't think this one is a question of right or wrong. Because I remember we used to go in the post office and collect mails.
But you have to work with some paper.
No, we just used to get the mails and bring for the neighbor.
No, well, I didn't know about that one.
Yes, before, people used to go to the post office to collect mails.
Yeah.
And when you go and pick up the mails, you pick up for Mommy and Miss Brina one time.
That was.
And you drop it for them.
And after a time, they said to you,
now, if it is
give you some paper or form that they signed the name.
If it is a registered letter,
yeah.
Some letters are registered letters.
Some.
And you have to have authorization to collect it.
Well, whether registered or not registered, I find somebody's mail, a stranger, not member of the family. Just go and come in and say, I bring that mail for you and also you. And then after, sometimes before they come with the mail, you already paid your bill. So this thing give you, they could send it for me again. All that.
You're talking about those bills from the phones and things?
Yes, and others.
Yeah.
So this is a thing. They had to discuss it with us. So we know directly we pay bills early, but the mails just come late at times. So say, don't be frightened. Like some people, when they realize they pay their bills already and not when you open it. Oh gosh, I pay me bill, and this thing could cause
They get worked
sickness.
up.
Yeah, nicely. So I'm asking, please, consult the people first so they know directly, as they say, educate them, give them training, so that because most people that live in are people over 40, 50 years. And when they know they pay and they get it, it gives them a,
Yes, it stress them out.
That is right.
Yeah.
So we are asking, please, to stop it.
Okay.
I myself had gone to the postal office and I asked them, do not
give anybody your mails.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm talking for others who afraid to go.
Yeah.
I am not afraid to go.
Yeah.
You know who's speaking to you? The girl from Telescope.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
And there are some instances when the post office person bring the mails to the different home. In some countries, you have mailbox. People put a mailbox in front of the door. And the person who is passing around delivering the mail, the mailman. But now he hardly a mailman, now he's mailwoman. I don't know if it's the right name to call them a mailwoman or what. They deliver the mails. Most of them are women. So they would put it in the people mailbox. Or sometimes they drop it in the veranda. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, I want to ask something. Underreach leadership, who was leading grade at that time when Fidel Castro come to Grenada?
It wasn't Kit Mitchell? I think
because I had some conversation with some young people.
I believe it was Kit Mitchell.
And everybody telling me.
Fidel Castro did not come here any time of bishop.
No,
he did not come here any time of interim.
I was telling them men that he was
It's
the
Kit
man at the
Mitchell.
rally in Tantin.
Yeah.
The rally was in Tantin and none of the young man don't know that yet.
Well, a lot of things that the young ones don't know anything about history. And I constantly say parents must talk about the life and the stories.
Thank you.
Because when Monkey writes his story, Monkey always right. The friend said the Caribbean leap. That is the friend's story. We can go arguing with them. Is that we that write the story? They wrote the story. The Caribbean write no story. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my sister, welcome.
Why we have to raise in pay and a lot of people self-employed?
Why do we have to?
Raise in pay. Ministers pay raising and a lot of people outside is self-employed.
Well, let me see if I could answer you that way. I'm going to speak about that. You want to call me back after?
Yeah.
All right. No, but there are a lot of institutions, companies, section or society that the salary is fixed or they come to, the salary they have is negotiated. Take, for instance, teachers, public officers, police, some of the people in the big supermarkets. I don't know if coach workers have union. It's a negotiated thing. The union meets with the company or the employer and they negotiate the salary. The union would use comparability. They would say, what is going on in Dominica, the OECS countries, and also Barbados. They will look at inflation. And the company would address also inflation and ability to pay. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, okay. An ability to pay. So there isn't any issue about minimum wage in that story because salary comes about around negotiation. The government is not expected unilaterally to just raise the salary of teachers, of public officers, of police. No. There are some people who work in the informal sector Yes, caller, welcome.
No, what I'm telling you, the thing I telling you,
You're talking about politician salary.
politician salary
And
rate.
that is what I'm coming to, but I also want to give you a background.
So then, a lot of people, wages, cost of living is so high, and the wages low. I'm not talking about civil servant,
Well, you see, yes, but I want you to understand these things cannot be just said in a vacuum. Because if the government want to raise the salary, the government in power, the government could just raise the salary. And the government, you don't know, the government don't care. The government is very insensitive. The government is hostile.
Mr. Pierre, when Dr. Mitchell and them go to Parliament to raise the pay, I know the union caught in the neck and black for Dr. Mitchell not to do it.
Well, yes, different strokes for different folks.
But the government don't have to go in Parliament now?
No, the government don't necessarily go to Parliament.
No, man, they don't do what they have to do?
Yeah, the government could do what they want. Them that in power. The people choose them, they put them in power, and that is one of the things they could do.
That's the biggest stress I could see in Ghana.
You remember contact, the government must legalize illegality. He said the government must legalize illegality. The government then was doing so much a thing he thought was wrong. So he said the government must make it legal.
Command Park, you know how many match against Command Park? Command Park come down to someone else listing now?
Caller, you have to understand, and I think that is one of the problems a lot of people in the lower income group does not understand. The National Democratic Congress does not seek the interests of the people in the lower income group. The National Democratic Congress is not sensitive to the working class. And if a lot of people understand that, they will not be surprised at the NDC behavior. The NDC historically and traditionally, their whole philosophy is not in keeping with the dreams and the aspiration of people in the lower income group.
And the former Prime Minister say better off before and now,
Yes, you see, caller, better for who? And this is the problem with a lot of NNP.
These people and them need to go and chat, man. I can't take on these people and them here.
All right, thank you. I think one of the biggest challenge the NNP have, and I blame some of the ministers and the directors of the NNP, they have not educated the clientele. So the clientele believe if a NDC government come in power, they go seek their interests. Nothing is further from the truth. The NDC does not seek the interests of the working class. The NDC does not seek the interests of the elderly that is poor. The NDC does not seek the interests of the physically challenged. The NDC is not sensitive to the cries of disadvantaged children. But the NDC is very good for people in the higher income bracket. The NDC advocates on behalf of the intelligentsia. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller.
I is a guy, I would like to impose and call people selfish fools or nothing, but listen to me. When somebody will have a business running, they have 100 persons on the payroll. When the month up, you can't pay them. You're shutting them. When you have to buy goods, you charge the goods and you can't pay for it. It's only a fool will continue a business too. Listen to me. That is one of the best things the government ever do. You have a good day.
Yes, scholar, and from your perspective, that is how the NDC thinks. And people don't understand that. The government have a responsibility and an obligation to seek the interests of the marginalized in the country. The government don't have to care about big businesses. They don't have to care about well-educated people. Because an educated man or a big business does not have to seek the interests of the ordinary man. But the government told the ordinary man, they put a law They put syrup and honey. That is what you hold flies with, not salt. If you put salt and Epsom salt and poison, 1 or 2 fly might fall in it because fly fast. But if you put honey and molasses, you're going to hold several hundred flies. So that is what the NDC government do. They trick the people in the lower income group. They made an offer to them. They dangle it up. And they fall for it, not recognizing it was a trap. It was a law. That is why in the private sector, if your business is not doing well, you may call somebody to help you first. The first start is not closing down your business. You may seek what other ideas you could have to make your business work. It could be a management problem. That is why business advertise. But when you are a government, the government takes into consideration there is high unemployment in the country. And the government have to provide social safety net. A businessman don't have to do that. And color, that's the difference. The NDC is not sensitive to the cries of the people in the lower income group. There has never been. In 1990, they fired people in the estate. The low income group, Shati was in it. In 2008, they promised to raise the pay of the elderly. They did not do it. They promised to raise the pay of the Imani to $1,000. And the Imani supported them in droves. They fired the Imani. And you know what they do in this period. So it's two different philosophy. So, but because the people in the lower income group doesn't really understand the philosophy of the NDC, that is why they fall for the law, the trick, the deceive, the lies of the National Democratic Congress. Today, the Prime Minister is stating that if you don't pay the politicians more money, they're going to get corrupt. Well, there is a trick, because the Prime Minister did not tell us how much you should pay them for them not to get corrupt. You see, all of us in Grenada might agree that politicians could get more money. I don't think you're going to meet one Grenadian who would say that you shouldn't pay them more. But how much money is enough? Now, when you're negotiating for salary, there are some things you take into consideration. Ability to pay. The economic realities in the country. The cost of inflation. And comparability. So you may want to compare the politician's salary in the OECS and use Barbados as an example, because Barbados is not in the OECS. Yes, Color Punch.
What happened to the gas and oil?
All right, the caller wanted to know what happened to the gas and oil. Well, Grenada is closest to gas and oil. Since the devil was a little boy, we're talking about gas and oil. Grenada is closest to gas and oil now. So in the next 5 or 10 years, we might get that. Now, so it is important for us to understand. If the government decides to increase the salary of politicians, nothing's wrong with that. And they could do it. But the reason the government give for increasing the salary is to prevent them from getting corrupt is wrong, is false. But that is part of the philosophy of the National Democratic Congress. Yes, caller, welcome.
Tell him if he have money, he could go and find the island gas, you know. No
Yes,
problem.
because we want some money for the companies to research. All right. So it's very important to understand that. When the government says that if we don't pay more, we won't get good politicians because they're going to corrupt. You could ask this question. How much money you have to pay a politician to prevent them from getting corrupt? How much money the Prime Minister of Grenada have to get per month to prevent him from getting corrupt? Is it 35,000? I understand that is the figure he wants. Is it 50,000? Is it 1 million? How much money you have to pay the police for them not to get corrupt? How much money you have to pay teachers for them not to declare war on children? For them not to get corrupt? How much money you have to pay doctors? You remember Grace Duncan? She begged medical doctors to spend 3 hours in the medical station. That was a lot of years ago before some of you born. Because we had the same problems. The doctors come in the medical station 11:30 and by 1:30 they leave and they see 30 people. And if you go and find out, most of them getting the same medicine. Grace Duncan begged them to spend at least 3 hours in the medical station. How much money you have to pay a medical doctor? So you're going to stay in the government medical station and work without racing in the office and charging $80 to see you? How much money you have to pay a security officer for him not to get corrupt? Because the Prime Minister of Grenada is advocating that for politicians not to get corrupt, you have to pay them more. But he didn't say how much is more. How much money you have to pay the Prime Minister for him not to understand that the fact that he is selling passport and his Minister of Finance is selling passport and another top henchman is selling passport is wrong, is unethical. How much money you have to pay the Prime Minister? Because they never tell you how much money. How much money you have to pay a worker that working in a supermarket so they would not get corrupt? They're going to come to work on time, they're going to come to work early, and they wouldn't be robbing in this supermarket. How much money you have to pay them? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
These things have been happening long. The doctors in the medical station and all what you're saying there. These things have been happening long, and I know that. So it's not this Prime Minister that making them stay in the surgery 2 hours. And
the Prime Minister, my sister, is legitimizing what was wrong. The Prime Minister, by his very action, Conta could tell you, have to legalize illegality. Because now he is saying, if you don't pay more, they're going to be corrupt. But he's not telling you how much. So I am asking him, how much money we have to pay politicians to prevent them from being corrupt? When you make a statement like that, the Prime Minister of Grenada is attacking those who volunteers. Voluntarism, how you call it. Because a number of people gives of their time. The time they should spend making money, they involve in groups. I remember the name Blair. Blair was practically synonymous with sports and carnival in St. Andrews for years. Voluntary work, Rani Alad, and many others. Now, if it was a question of money, these individuals would not have give off of the time. They would have gone and continued with their business to make money. Yes, caller, welcome. So it's a very important thing You see, this statement is not made by Theo Baltan. It is not made by John Galt or On Target. It is made by the Prime Minister of Grenada. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, scholar.
I listened to that statement, and I believe that is the right statement to make. Mr. Pierre, the man was making the point that if a man labor for $100, and you pay him $20, and he takes something, you will quicker ease him up full salary, $100, and he do something. You are right to prosecute him to the full extent of the law because he was paid properly and he's still thieving. So you had the right to prosecute him.
Your caller.
But listen to me.
Caller. The
Yes,
Prime
yes.
Minister did not tell us
That is the
how
point
much
he made.
money is properly. What he means by
That
properly.
is the point he made.
Make
And
the point, caller. When the
point is
Prime
that
Minister...
if a man paid properly, and you catch him thieving, you could prosecute him. But if a man underpaid, you go ask him about him.
Yes,
You go ask him
caller.
about him.
Yes, caller. You see, the Prime Minister of Grenada is not John Galt. He's not an ordinary man. He's not speaking in the rum shop. The Prime Minister is a lawyer. He's a corporate lawyer. And he knows what he's saying in words. And he's chaffing the public. Because he's claiming that if the politicians don't get enough money, they're going to be corrupt. But he's not telling us how much is enough. So we could raise the politician pay as they intend by 4,000. But he said that is not enough. We could raise their pay to 50,000 a month. Would that prevent them from getting corrupt? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Your Prime Minister was the biggest shafter.
You see, we must face, if we want this country to go good, we must face the reality. If we want this country to improve, we must face the reality. Now, what the Prime Minister of Grenada is doing, and you see, the Prime Minister is not Ron. He's not Tevin Andrew. The Prime Minister is a lawyer that deals with corporate law. So he understands what he's saying. He's introducing into Grenada that if you don't pay the politicians more, they're going to get corrupt. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
We have to remind the Prime Minister of June 19th, and then he's going to come to his senses. I tell you already, we go hang him in the market.
No.
Tell him we go hang him in the market.
No. We're not doing that at all. Caller, the last time they had hanging in the market, over 10,000 Grenadians flee to Trinidad. That is when Federal Rebellion, over 10,000 Grenadians flee to Trinidad. In a democratic country, what you need to do is to raise those issues so that people would check themselves. What is going on is fundamentally wrong, and we must address it. If the Prime Minister is advancing the view that if you don't pay politicians enough money, they're going to get corrupt, we have to ask him how much is enough. When a teacher gets his salary, the salary is negotiated. The unions that represent the teacher negotiate the salary. So the teacher cannot say the salary is not enough. Because the union would have taken all things into consideration, including the government's ability to pay. There are some people in our society that work in the informal sector, and they are not represented by union. So the government set up a committee, a commission or what you call it, to determine minimum wage. So you're going to find out how much an agriculture worker should work for, how much a security officer should work for. But if that security company has a union, that would supersede the government minimum wage. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, the last caller, I support him, eh? I support him, trust me.
Yes, scholar. Yeah, you see, we cannot on one hand supporting violence or taking a position, and on the next hand we changing. We flip-flopping. That is what the Prime Minister of Grenada has been doing. He flip-flopping. He gets away with it because he's not been challenged. Now, if the Prime Minister make a statement and he says that if you have to raise the wages or the money that a politician get to prevent them from being corrupt, what's about the politicians who leave well-paying jobs and come to Grenada and get involved in politics? What would happen to the people like Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi and a number of politicians in the past that left well-paying jobs and come and get involved in politics? What's about the trade union leaders who volunteered their service? Some of them held workshop and cooked the food at their home because the union didn't have money to pay to cook the food. What's about the people who are involved in sports and cultural groups and all the man hours they gave free when they could have gone fighting to make money? You see, when you advocate that, you diluting the power of voluntarism in your country. And the amount of money you have nothing to do with whether you corrupt or not. We have people that are billionaires that are very corrupt. And Tanti baby in the village, and Miss Betty, that not even working, that selling sugar cake. Some of them are more generous and honest than people with jacket and tie. So you cannot, it is not right, it is wrong for the Prime Minister to say for politicians not to be corrupt, they have to get more money. If they want to increase the income of politicians, set up a committee or a commission, a reputable commission, and let them look at inflation, comparability, and then raise the politician pay. But don't give the impression that if you don't get enough money, you get corrupt. Well, what will happen to the teachers, the public officers, the police, the shop attendants, people in the supermarket, the farmers, the fishermen? You have a whole corrupt society. So the Prime Minister, this statement is unfortunate. It is sad. And it has rippling effect for the rank and file Grenadians. The Prime Minister of Grenada is wrong. We come to the end of our program today. Time flies sometime. We're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1 for another opportunity to punch and discuss the issues.